huge relief for Matty Kennedy. He's a heart and soul player in a team that has done an incredible job in the absence of Marcus Bontempelli and the likes of Cody Waitman and Tamara Ugle-Hagan. And look at what it means to them. Oscar Baker, so many of their lesser lights have had to step up and play roles. And haven't they done it well through the first 3 weeks? They go to 2-1. It can make such a difference as those stars, like Liam Jones, start to come back into the team.
Oh, it's a great start. That was the big query over the Dogs. Could they win enough games without those key players there? As you mentioned, Liam Jones, first game back. So good.
Matty Kennedy was just trying to find the right words, wasn't he, to pay respect to his old teammates.
And he had a monster last quarter. I mean, his work rate was extraordinary. Sam Davidson, he just continues to impress every time we see him, the more we see him. And I loved the last quarter of Josh Dolan, the sub that came on, had 5 important possessions. He hit up Darcy, which resulted in the goal. They're just all playing their role and finding ways to eke out these wins, and they'll be so much better when the skipper gets back there.
And the Blues next face Collingwood next week, so they'll be refreshed after a bye. It's not going to get any easier. So a lot to dissect, and we have just the men to do that as our panel of experts are assembled and ready, and Gaz has joined them up on high.
Good on you, Hutto. Great job, you and Jared and Jason. Fantastic call. It's Friday Night Footy on Fox, brought to you by the new Ranger plug-in hybrid. Fantastic victory, come from behind victory to the Western Bulldogs. They trailed Carlton for most of the game, but they found a way, and they're being led magnificently by Tom Liberatore. Full of heart. There'll be heartache for the Carlton Football Club, who were so brave for much of it. John Brown, Nathan Buckley, Jordan Lewis. But good teams find a way to win, and the Western Bulldogs did exactly that.
Yeah, loved it. Showing plenty of heart and spirit, aren't they? You just would have thought early on they really struggled. Carlton's game looked magnificent, didn't it? But at the end of the day, they did run out of steam again, which is going to become a story. But it's all about the Bulldogs. Yeah, with the players out they've got, we saw it on show last week against Collingwood, but tonight they get the rewards.
Yeah, it's a game of attrition, isn't it? And it is, 4 quarters, you've got to be able to play it out. And the second half of the Bulldogs was exceptional. They were able to, their wingman, Sam Davidson, who we'll have a chat to, had 31 touches. Williams on the other wing had 27. They just ran up and down either side of the ground, either end of the ground, creating out numbers and just outran their direct opponents. And that was the tale of the night. The Dogs worked harder later, which gave their ball carrier options, and the Carlton team ran out of options.
Lots of heroes. We'll have both coaches' press conferences. Jared Waitley and John Ralph will be in with all of the news. Sam Davidson's going to join us. What a star he was. The doctor. And that man there, Matt Kennedy, against his old side, Geordie. We touched on it earlier. We had some vision of him just chatting with his former teammates. I thought he was absolutely magnificent.
I must say, Gaz, watching the last quarter up here and the 2 kicks that he went for into the middle of the ground, it was brave, but it really solidified what they were trying to do in the second half. The Dogs, they got their turnover game going. Only 7 points in the first half, 38 in the back, 6 goals from turnover in the back. So I think, yes, we give praise to the Bulldogs, but I think Carlton just fell back into their old habits, played really safe in the second half, and this Bulldogs side really capitalised on that. They smelt it. They smelt the corridor was open, but a really brave win considering who they've got out.
Yeah, and that man at the front is symbolic of what they've been able to achieve. I think over the last 3 or 4 weeks, they were brave against Collingwood, could have won in the end. I thought they were also well served by their lesser lights, and we'll get through. We're going to have a really comprehensive post-match. Davison, Vandermeer, West, Kennedy, all these blokes.
And some of their stars that were quiet, Norton and Dale, they had moments right at the end of the game.
Yeah,
so it's not your night, but it might be a moment, and they were able to stay with it and stick with it. And that's why you need everyone on board the whole way, and that's what they were able to do. That's what got them the win.
And they cover for each other really well. So Charlie Curnow gets hot, Jones goes to him, then Kemp gets hot, he goes to Jones, Karmas goes to Charlie. So it was a great team effort. And for Bulldogs fans, I think you're going to enjoy this.
Bulldogs fight and Bulldogs not. We give our very best. We can't beat the boys of the Bulldog Group with the team of the mighty West.
I might have been too exhausted to go right over the top, but it is a fantastic victory. And considering we don't talk about it much because you've got to deal with what you got, but there are some genuine superstars that aren't playing in this side. So to be able to bank these wins without Marcus Bontempelli is just so critical.
Yeah, no question about that. Like you said before, Tom Liberatore has been sensational. He's been the spiritual leader throughout this, and guys have jumped on board. Their work rate with their lesser lights was really impressive. I love our position up here, and you really get that. You ought to have got it from the commentary box, Gaz. But their run from those exterior type players, the flankers, was magnificent tonight, and Carlton just couldn't go with them.
Those numbers indicate that.
That's right, they do, and that's why they run over the top of them. Points from turnover. Remember, only 7 points from turnover in the first half. So they've scored 38 in the second half. So very impressive, and that shows that run.
Let's have a look at our UE fourth quarter highlights. And as you said, you don't have to be the best player on the ground to have a moment that can turn things around. And to be quite honest, there are a couple of players out there that have had nights that you wouldn't wish to go and look back at. And Aaron Norton was one of them. And we said at the time, and Jason was all over this in the coverage, you just got to keep coming at the footy. You know, there are games where you just cannot touch it. And then if he doesn't present, and it looked ungainly, sort of ran up the back of Kemp and ended up taking a mark and kicked the goal. But if you don't present, you don't get the opportunity. And then this bloke, Bailey Dale, who Cottrell done a great job on Bucks, he finds a way.
Yeah, and that's why they stuck with it. I mean, there's a couple of interesting goal reviews there. One for Norton, what side of the post it was on, is over the top, and that'll be a discussion for during the week. But I think if you're a Bulldogs supporter, you know your team has earned that. They were harder for longer, and they were able to. That's why they've won the game. If you're a Blues supporter, you know that your team, you basically failed at the end. The last 15 minutes, you didn't have the legs to be able to go with the opposition.
Look at these great scenes. Adam Treloar, Marcus Bontempelli. This is the quality of player that's not there. Luke Beveridge would be over the moon with what they've been able to achieve, and Hug's the man that's leading them. So these are great signs, heartening signs for this football club, this Western Bulldogs football club, who've found themselves now 3-1, and they've got stars to come back, and that's a great thing. You guys got a better view of the Aaron Norton goal than I did. Was there some conjecture from the three of you?
There was a brave goal umpire that was in front of the Carlton cheer squad. That I mean, it probably went over the post, but it's not the only thing that went.
Well, this
the
angle,
Dogs' way.
yeah, this angle looks like it could be anywhere. But funnily enough, the Carlton blokes thought it was a point, and the Bulldogs blokes thought it was a goal. So it was close enough. But you can't be definitive with those above the post. You've got to take the goal umpire's view.
Well, in fairness, the Darcy one probably wasn't definitive. You know, if you think of that overturn, and it was overturned in favour of Wiedering touching it. So 1-1.
1-1.